another TV episode, and this episode is just me. So we are going to talk today about Facebook groups. Now, you know, Facebook is always changing their algorithm, right? And so there are times where it used to be that you could post something on a page and people would actually see it. And as the years have gone by, less and less things are being able to be seen when you post it on your page. So if you didn't know that, things on your Facebook page don't really get seen. And you probably have, if you have like a fan page, you know, or a like page, and you post things on it and you're like, no one's engaging with this, no one's really doing anything. And it's because pages are more pay to play. And it used to be a place where businesses could be represented on Facebook, and Facebook is now starting to go a little bit away from that. And if you've been following anything with Facebook, there were a lot of things that were going on in Facebook, really all of last year. And so they've been doing a lot of changes. And one of the big changes that they have made is that they are focusing more on groups than they are on, for sure, pages and also personal profiles. So you're going to notice you're going to be seeing a lot more things in your feed that are from groups that you are in. In fact, on the mobile app, they even have a button that's just for groups. So you can have an entire feed that's just the groups that you're in. So it's really beneficial for you, for your business, to have a Facebook group. Now, having a Facebook group for your business is probably not what your upline has told you. Because if you have a group that's like your special VIP group, right? Like that is not really what you want to create. Because just having a group about your VIP group, or just for your customers, where all you do is give them like, this is the special that my company has going on this month, and all you're doing is talking about products, what you're doing is you're creating a group that is really like your own personal infomercial. And that is not what you want to do. You want to create a community, because Facebook is going to look at it and say, how many people are engaging with these posts? And if you have people who are not engaging with your posts, then they're going to be like, well, we're not going to show this as much. So the more engagement you have in your group, the more that other people are going to see. The other cool thing is when you have a lot of engagement in your group is that Facebook is actually going to promote you for free. Right? Like, how awesome is that? And you may be thinking, well, how does Facebook promote for free? How Facebook does it is, if you've ever noticed when you're in a Facebook group, this is not on mobile, but on your desktop, that on the right side, it'll show groups that you may be interested in. And so if they find that people in your group are very engaging and they really like what you're talking about, they're going to feature your group on other groups that have people that are like that. They'll have similar interests, right? So the question is, how do you get engagement in your group? First, let's talk about your group name, because that's an important part, right? Getting all started. You do not want it to be like Brooke Elder's VIP customer group, because then who is it about? It's about you, right? And if you've watched any of our other videos, we talk a lot about arrows out marketing, right? It's not about us. It's not, I need, if you say anything about I need, you know you're doing it wrong. But like, I need $200 more in sales in order to earn a trip. Who wants to buy something from me? Like, that is arrows in, because it's all about you. Instead of focusing on how can my products serve other people and how can I help other people, that's arrows out marketing. So your name needs to be about who you're trying to help. So we talk a lot about avatars. We talk a lot about finding what your niche is. Who is that person that you're going to help? And focusing on that person. So make it about them. When I name my Facebook groups, I always think about like, okay, what are they struggling with? Or what is their identifier? What's the thing that's like calling out my market of who it is that I want to talk to? And then what do they want? So when I first started my Facebook group, it was called Build a Prosperous Direct Sales Business, because I talked about what they wanted, a prosperous business, right? And who was I marketing to? I was talking to direct sales people or network marketers. And so you want to have that was a really long name and we've changed it since then. But you want to have something that talks about who it is and what they want. And when you have those two things, it may not be like an alliteration. For those of you who are like word people that want to have like all of the words in your Facebook group all start with the same letter, or like that it has to rhyme or it has to be catchy, yes, it needs to be memorable, but it'll be memorable because people are going to say, that's me and that's what I want. And so they're going to stay in your group because you've identified who they are and you've identified what they want. So once you've done that, then how do you create engaging posts and content, right? Because the more engaging content that you have, the better it's going to be. The more that you are going to have people who want to interact with your stuff, people who are going to want to share your stuff, maybe invite their friends into your group. There's lots of different ways that you can create content to get people to engage. And when we asked the question in our Facebook group about like, what's your hardest thing about your Facebook group? Overwhelmingly people said engagement and how to get engagement. So we're actually going to do an entire boot camp next week in the Authentic Influencer Marketing Facebook group, all about getting engagement in your Facebook groups. So make sure you check that out, because that is going to be 3 days of that's what we're going to talk about in detail on how to do that and what to do in your groups and kind of how to manage getting people into your groups and growing your groups and all of that. It's all going to be about Facebook groups, because with the new algorithm changes, like that is the thing that Facebook is really going to start leaning towards. And so if you can get in now and get your group set up, then you're going to be a little bit ahead of the curve. So that's what we want. So when we find these things that are like, ooh, this is like new breaking news kind of things, like this is cutting edge, we want to bring that to you so that way you can be on that. So couple things for engagement that you can do. The biggest thing is, just ask, like say, hey, what do you think about this? Share your emoji on how you feel. Or I love doing GIFs. So I would say like, answer this question only in GIFs, and you usually get a lot of engagement on that. The biggest problem that I see is people are not asking. And you have to realize what kind of content you're giving it needs to be equal to the kind of ask that you have. So if you give them a ton of value, like you're really, really helping them with something, you can ask them to leave a comment. But if you're just like, here's a fun little like meme or something like that, you can have them do an emoji or a GIF or something like that. So kind of balance out what you're asking. So you wouldn't do bring tons of value and then just say leave an emoji, because then it's not balanced. And you wouldn't just do like here's an inspirational quote and leave a comment, because those aren't balanced. So you want to make sure that the value that you're bringing, you're giving them a lot of value, because there's this law, it's called the law of reciprocity, and you might have heard me talk about it before, but it's this give and take, So like if you have a neighbor who decides that they call you up and they're like, hey, you guys just moved into the neighborhood. We would love to have you over for dinner. So you go to their house for dinner, and then what do you feel like? You feel like you need to invite them over for dinner, right? Because that's that give and take. It has to be equal. And we do this like without even thinking about it. A really great example that I heard of was there was this church who was trying to earn money for their church. And so they were selling roses at an airport. So there was lots of people coming back and forth and stuff like that. And they really weren't making that much money selling these roses. So instead what they did is they just had a sign that was asking for donations, and they were handing out roses. So they're giving them away for free. Well, when someone got a rose for free, then it was out of balance, right? And so they felt like they needed to donate. So they actually made more money by giving the roses away than from selling them, which is so interesting. So put that same concept into your group, that when you're giving them, if you're giving them a ton of content, you can ask them to comment. But if you're just giving them a little bit, then either ask for nothing, maybe it's just a like, or maybe it's an emoji, something that's not a lot, So think of that law of reciprocity when you are talking about what you want them to do on a post. And so on almost all the posts that I do when I'm trying to like build up the group, you ask questions, what do you think about this? And it really helps to give them value, like maybe tell them a story and say, what do you think about that? and then get them their feedback on things. So these are more of the tips and stuff that we're going to go over next week in the boot camp. So if you're not in the Authentic Influencer Marketing Facebook group, make sure you just go search for it in Facebook and you will find it. You can also go to socialtenacity.com/group, and that will get you into the group too. So then all you got to do is click on the event tab that's on there, and you can say that you're going to go to the event. That way you'll get reminders from Facebook knowing that when those events start. So our boot camp again is next week. It is May 14th, 15th, and 16th. So go make sure you get on there and learn all about Facebook groups and how to get more engagement in your Facebook groups, and we'll throw in some tips and tricks for you too. So, all right. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys all on the next episode. See ya.